Hello and welcome to the first episode of Fire Walk with Us, a Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Paul.
Justin.
And Dave.
Alright, so I think the first thing we should do is go around and say how many times we've watched the series or if we're familiar with it. So Justin, why don't you start?
He got me to watch an episode. That's about it.
Okay, and David?
In my case, it's the couple of episodes I've seen in the past couple of years, and little dips and dollops of certain scenes.
Okay, so neither of you know who the killer is, right? Now don't give out a name.
Not definitively.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. Because that would completely ruin the entire series, pretty much.
Yeah, usually kind of does in these circumstances.
Okay, so the next thing I want to ask is, we'll start with Justin. What do you think the tone of the show is going to be?
Well, it's not gonna be completely all Scooby-Doo-esque, I don't think.
Okay.
But, there is a mystery of sorts.
There is a murder to be solved.
Yes, a murder mystery.
Yeah.
I don't think Scooby-Doo ever did a murder mystery.
No, but I don't know why you keep bringing up Scooby-Doo either.
I don't know.
Okay, but do you think it's going to be fairly dark? Do you think it's going to be more comedic? Where do you think it's going to kind of...
I think it'll be a little bit more on the slightly darker edge.
Okay. David?
In my case, from what I vaguely understand about the show, it's one of those particular shows that kind of likes to take typical trips to the uncanny valley, within senses of it's normal life and trying to solve a thing, but weird shit happens everywhere.
Yeah, so weird shit is definitely going to happen. I'm not going to tell you what, but weird shit is going to happen. Okay, so I think one of the last questions I want to ask is, when you hear the name of the series Twin Peaks, what do you think of? Is there like a certain image or a character or a theme or anything that comes to you?
No, not really, other than golden arches, boobs. What else could be Twin Peaks?
Oh, God.
David?
No, in my case, I've worked with something where it was a literal pair of mountains that were called Twin Peaks, so that's kind of the first image that comes to my mind.
Or I could also think of the mountain peaks on The Legend of Zelda or something, I don't know.
But there's nothing about the show that you automatically...
No, it doesn't make me think
the only
anything,
one
really.
vague thing that reminds me of that was the title screen of one of the seasons, just its name, Twin Peaks, within a faded background of the town that they're in.
Okay.
Though, basically, it gives me more of a sense that it's kind of set maybe in, seems like The Rock is almost, but not...
Yeah,
right.
it's set in Washington, 5 miles from the Canadian border.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so I think the last thing I'm going to ask both of you is, what do you expect from Twin Peaks?
I expect a mystery to be solved.
Okay.
I don't know, Sherlock Holmes, I don't know.
Okay. David?
It's kind of twofold in my mind. On the one hand, it's probably going to be a case of, sure, there's going to be a mystery to solve, but it's going to be a case of, here are all the particular questions. Yay, we had answered a question, but we have 16 additional questions that came up with answering this one question. And then on the other hand of things, there's going to be a starting bit of, wow, this is kind of getting weird. Then diving into, holy cow, this is super weird. Then coming back to sort of normalcy, and then blindsiding you with something absolutely insane and mind-breaking.
Okay, I have one follow-up question. Do you think they will ever solve the murder of Laura Palmer? Keeping in mind that the show was cancelled and they had planned to continue for more seasons.
If it was the case that they supposedly were cancelled, it would seem that the best ending would be that they do finally somewhat solve the thing, but they also couldn't have bothered to do it. And if they would have continued on without being cancelled, it probably would have been just a thing. Like, oh shoot, we can't solve this mystery. So here's about 16 other mysteries that are going to come and slam into you with the series continuing. Again, that's only my vague thought on it.
Okay, so you don't really expect it to be solved.
There's the possibility, but most likely, with the vague understanding that I know of Twin Peaks, it's probably going to take some fairly weird turns.
Okay.
So, assuming from what you're saying, it was canceled, you say?
Yes, it was canceled after season 2.
Okay, so give it 2 seasons. Okay, so did they know that they were going to be canceled, or what was the case with that?
So to my understanding, season 1 basically did phenomenally well.
Okay.
And the ratings fell off in season 2. Now, when they knew they weren't coming back for a 3rd season, I couldn't tell you exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Because otherwise they would try to probably rush the ending if they knew they were going to be cancelled. So it's possible there could be a few questions left unanswered, for the most part. But for Laura Palmer herself, I have no idea. I could not answer that.
Okay, that's interesting. So you don't expect them to solve the murder in like the middle of season 2 or something wacky like that?
I know, basically she's supposed to be the first thing they find in the first episode, and that's like a mystery.
Yeah, so Laura's our introduction, like, is the reason we come to Twin Peaks.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the entry point for the show. David Lynch's original idea was to never solve the murder.
Oh.
No matter how long the show ran, he planned to never answer that question.
Hmm.
Now, if that actually happened or not, I'm not going to tell you. But that was his original pitch.
So basically, he leaves it to interpretation for the viewer to figure that out or something, I guess?
His thing was, we use the murder as an entry point, and then we follow the stories of the people in the town. That's where he was more interested. He wasn't so much interested in solving a murder. He was more interested in doing the interpersonal relationships of the town and how they deal with it, as opposed to solving the murder.
Yeah, interesting enough idea for getting yourself into that sort of situation.
I guess so. Because knowing all the people, you can kind of get a sense of, like, would they have been the person to do such a thing or not?
Alrighty, so last thing. Do you have anything left to add, Dave? Anything you know about Twin Peaks, or anything that you're interested to kind of see if it's in the series, or that you know about it that you want more context on, or anything like that?
The only one thing that came to my mind with discussing about this now was the scene of a couch.
Okay.
But I'm not particularly sure of anything more than that.
Does it involve some red drapes?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I just kind of have a vague image of kind of a setting of a couch set in a living room sort of setting with kind of a square archway and this other sort of room sort of thing. That's about as much as I sort of have.
Okay. I'm not entirely sure what that would be, but it'll be interesting to see if that comes up. Justin, do you have anything you're interested to discover about Twin Peaks?
Let's see. See if anyone is actually interesting aside from, like, what I've seen of it so far. I mean, granted, there are a few side characters that are pretty stupid, but I mean...
Who would you be referring to?
Doofus A and Doofus B.
So Bobby and Mike.
Yes, sure, yeah.
Oh yeah, I got some interesting things to watch in the next couple of days.
And the mystery of the log lady.
Ah, yes, the log lady. We will have a long chat about the log lady in a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's fine.
So do either of you have any last minute thoughts?
Yeah, I think for the most part it's going to be an interesting ride to dive into this, but we'll have to see.
Yes, we will.
Indeed.
Justin, any last minute thoughts?
It's gonna be one heck of a ride.
You sound so enthusiastic.
I know, I'm not terribly enthusiastic about watching these. I'm more into anime than I am to any, like, live action shows. Even though I do watch Doctor Who a bit, so... We'll see how it goes anyways.
You're either going to love this or hate it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which it's going to be.
Me neither.
It'll be fun to find out. Anyway, that's going to be the prologue for our delve into Twin Peaks. I'm Paul.
Dave?
And Justin.